Welcome back to another action figure review. Well, this is my very first figure for 2022. So this is none other than the G.I. Joe classified Ally Viper. This is probably one of the hottest figure here in January of 2022, and one of the hardest figures to come by at a retail price. So with that being said, we're going to take a review of the classified Ally Viper and check how cool he really is. Now, this is the box he comes in. Standard classified box. Very nice window box. I love the artwork on the bottom right there. Looking fantastic. Can't wait to see what it looks like outside the packaging. The back of the packaging is pretty much the same we're used to seeing from the beginning of the initial launch of the line. Really nice artwork nonetheless. Here on the side of the box we have those emblems that probably mean something. We haven't got a legend yet to find out what these actually mean. Maybe that one with the boot at the top, maybe that's for like a trooper, and a shield is like a guardian, or who knows. I guess one day Hasbro will get around to releasing some kind of information on these symbols. The other side of the box does have a beautiful artwork of the Ally Viper. It's really, really cool. I think a lot of people are enjoying the art of this packaging. Here's the top of the packaging. He is number 34 in the line. There's a bar in the package. Not much to see except for the UPC, which you're going to copy that down and help track it down at your local retailer. They may help you out. Alright, since we check out the packaging real quick, for you package collectors, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ally Viper freed from his clamshell. Okay, here he is outside the packaging. He's a 1/12 scale figure, so about around 6 inches. If you're interested, well, he's basically rather cartoon. He has his orange outfit, his blue camo, looking fantastic. Very, very nicely done. Head sculpt is spot on. Love the orange. We have the black Cobra emblem or insignia here at the top of his helmet. It is his blue balaclava mask underneath. We do have a brown nicely here on the top. A lot of the blue camo throughout to complement the orange. Very traditional to the original design. Here on his pauldron here, I believe it's kind of like it's kind of a messy paint job of a Cobra insignia. We do have a removable knife sleeve here. You can move it up and down. You can move the hand and just slide off the initial knife sleeve if you don't like it there. Maybe you want it on the other hand. That's an option for you. On his lower legs, he has thigh pads. On this thigh pad, he has his pistol holster. He does have a very interesting thigh pad here for, I guess this is kind of protection. Here at the bottom, we have these brown pads. There's been a lot of talk about these pads. They seem to be a little off-center in a lot of collectors' opinion throughout the community. If you notice here, you can kind of complement them in a way. It's not a fix, but it's not bad. So if you have your feet straight out, and there is a rotation here at the boot, you can bring that around a little bit, and it does bring them more towards the front, but it kind of makes his feet kind of go kind of out like this instead of straight, and it gives you a little more balance. But if that bothers you that much, there's always an option there to move them, but it does make your feet at a different position, which is not there's no really way to correct for that on the ankles. But nonetheless, it's kind of a little bit of an option there for you. When you first take him outside the packaging, you did a little cleaning him up a little bit. His pistol holster here is kind of, it could be off-centered, or you may have to like move it down, reset it, just by simply moving each strap. There's 3 of them here to maneuver. You have to go through one, then the next one, to get about where you want it to be. I guess the best place for it is if there's a thigh cut here, you want to put the top band here around that thigh cut. Very cool. There is a very small amount of assembly, which we'll get to here in a second. Before we do that, let's take a 360 look of the Ally Viper and get some nice prior shots of him here in hand images. That way you guys can see all the aesthetics, all the sculpt work. They did a really, really good job. For a classic fan, I'm glad they're going with the cartoon looking designs. That's my favorite. So No complaints there. I'm sure we'll get some type of repaints knowing Hasbro. There's been multiple repeats of the Alley Viper in the 1/18 scale. So I don't doubt to have a red Alley Viper eventually, or even a blue one. Who knows? Possibilities are endless now that they have the the sculpt that they can repaint. Very nice. Here's a good close look at that holster. Bottom of his feet. Looks really cool. Now, like I was saying, there is just a small bit of assembly. It's basically just putting on his visor. Right here is his visor. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe that the this is a new symbol for the classified line, because I think, if I remember correctly, on the vintage and the modern era versions from the 7-pack, that's a Cobra emblem. There's some type of new emblem for the Alley Viper. One thing I always thought too would be a cool idea. I love how this works, but when you put this on, it kind of hides his face. I would like to see a translucent orange piece, so it'd be translucent enough that you could see the blue around, but then you can paint the sides here, give it a unique shape for the lens, and then you could paint it side like normal orange, but have translucent to where you can just see that very unique balaclava style mask. I think that'd be a nice touch with a modern touch, basically. Maybe you have it like an option of like a second piece, but I'd be kind of staying true to the original design, but giving it like a unique feel. I'd love to see how that would work out in an overall piece, to where just this part right here, we can see his balaclava would be a translucent orange that you can see through. This is a small part of assembly. All you really gotta do is just pop this on. There's 2 holes on the side there. Not too bad. This is a little flexible plastic. To me, this is definitely a different plastic than the figure is made of. I want to say this is more brittle, but it has some flexibility to it, so it doesn't really take any extra force or effort. You just gotta stick it on. It manipulates perfectly, just enough to keep the tolerance, to keep your mask from falling off. It goes right into the holes, and then you can raise it up and down. You don't have to worry about it falling off. One thing about the classified line here, I know that this kind of stops about right there. You can't go any further than that because of the helmet sculpt. Versus, the 1/18 scale, you can pretty much put it almost in the back of his head. So it's really nice fit, very well measured out. That is a very awesome head sculpt. I love the way that looks. Very, very cool. So for the articulation, obviously we just looked at the visor. So for the head sculpt, he will look down. For the articulation, he will look down. He does look up. He's side to side. 360 rotation. And the visor doesn't get in the way at all of the articulation, regardless of it being up or down. The arms are on a ball joint. They rotate 360. They raise up about that much. Within the limitation of my figure, at least. It's about that much. We do have upper bicep 360 rotation here. But that's hidden right behind this pad here. But you can see it on this arm. He does have double jointed elbows, which is fantastic. Gives you more than 90 degrees on both hands. Looks great. Now for the wrist, he has, for this hand, it is the up and down like this. So, up and down. Just great. So let's hope on this side we get the other one. More of the in and out. Nope. This looks like that this one is the... Oh yeah, it is. So we have the in and out on this side and the up and down on this side, which is great. So it gives us a little bit of diversity in a figure. And of course it rotates 360. There's some chest articulation here. He will, what he has his vest on. But just know it's there. He does have a rotation around his waist, but it's kind of hindered due to the vest also. He does have thigh cuts, and they're hidden behind these thigh pads where you can, center those to be the perfect height for your figure. Articulation for the legs. It splits about that much. And it looks like he does have those hip drops that you pull down a little bit. And you pull up. That helps with the spacing. So, it's kind of weird. I just think that's going to be a breaking point in the future. So if we split this way, I'll just kind of hit his backside. The front one goes that way. And to sit, so hope we get some really cool classified vehicles. I don't know how large those things are going to be in the 1/12 scale versus the price we're going to pay for them. So he sits pretty good. So we have to get his legs back up into his current position. For the knees, we have double jointed knees, which is fantastic. Second pad there. Okay, for his ankles. Well, there is a boot cut like I showed you earlier. 360. The feet do pivot down. A little bit up. And then obviously you got that rotation around. This pad's definitely going to hinder it, the ability to easily do your 360, but I'm not going to force it. You might be able to get it, but it's to be a little challenging, so I don't want to break my figure. Simply because these are very hard to get. If you're interested, as I clean him up so we can move forward, got this from Hasbro Pulse. It was in the morning. I checked my phone. I got an email saying back in stock alert. And it wasn't back in stock, as best to my knowledge, this is the first time they were available on Hasbro Pulse. But anyway, I say, okay, you're allowed two. So I ordered two. I have two of these. I have one in a box still, and I have this guy. My first two, looking to pick up some more. Definitely a fantastic army builder. So my little backstory behind that was I, added in the cart. By the time I logged on, went through the process of logging on, and adding the cart, and going through your payment method and stuff. I was lucky. I got two of the Alley Vipers and two of the Bats. They were both available. And we'll be doing a review for the Bat here shortly, so don't forget to subscribe. Payment went through, got my confirmation, and then went back to look and see other stuff that was back in stock, and these are instantly sold out. I just barely got a set. So that's how hot these guys are. It's nice to see the Hasbro's putting out a lot of quantity of these guys, but man, they're still hard to get even with the quantities they're pumping out. But don't worry, if you haven't found one yet, they're supposed to be being released all through the year of 2022. I have a pre-order another online retailer, and it's not for June or July. So with that being said, that was my experience on getting these guys if you're interested. So let's go start taking a look at some of the accessories. It comes with a backpack, a lot of sculpt work. For me, I think a little bit of paint would have went a long way, especially maybe just painted their grenades, maybe painted the insignia to break up all this black. Now, I am not saying I want a lot of paint on my guns. Those translucent colors that kind of killed G.I. Joe back in the early 90s. We want black weapons. We don't want futuristic orange weapons or red weapons. I mean, you want a little bit of paint on it. I like the ownership thing, but base weapons and accessories should be pretty much black. But painting their grenades here, or painting a insignia, and that'd have been a really nice touch. It really brought out more overall appearance and appeal to it. The back here has a little vent. It's kind of interesting. This will go onto his back very easily. It's nice and snug. The tolerance for that is really good. So, on the backpack, he comes with his harpoon gun. So it comes in two pieces. Here's the first part. Here's the little hole here for the string that we used to see from the vintage. Kind of not sure how I feel about not having that piece. Is a string at least. because you do get a separate piece here of the grappling hook. There's a hole here to tie a string. I guess you could add your own string if you wanted to. But you know, I think their vintage one was pretty much a solid piece. Now we could actually utilize the string and then, you know, simulate a urban climbing a building or something. So you have to attach this piece into the front of the hole. Now I'm going to tell you, the tolerance on this is super tight. Be very careful. Get close to your overall base here. Don't try to push from the front. You're going to bend that and get some plastic wears. And that's how that goes. It doesn't even go in very far. I mean, it stays in. It's in there. But that's the overall look of it. And then you can attach this to the back of his backpack like so. It just goes through the trigger guard there. It's very cool. Okay, so we can put that back on his back. And how it looks very good from the back here, you can see, gives it some really cool appearance. Second weapon comes with is his traditional, unique style Ally Viper gun. Very nice. You see the clip is here on the back. At least you got enough gap here maybe to put it into his hand without any issue. Let's see if this is removable. It is. So you have a removable clip. It's pretty cool. That's really seated in there, so you don't have to worry about losing it. And it snaps in. So let's go ahead and see how well he holds the weapon. Okay, here is the Ally Viper with his traditional weapon. As you can see, he can hold that with two hands. I didn't tweak it perfectly, but you get the idea. I did notice the barrel is drilled out. That's really cool. So, not too bad. The clip doesn't even get in the way too much. It's there. It's a work in progress. You have to say if you tweak it, you probably can get it perfectly, but it looks real good nonetheless. That's very, very cool. One thing I will say is I don't think they have the tolerance correct for the hands. The hands are very stiff. See the cross between the quality of the plastic and the overall plastic of the hands. They're not as soft as they need to be. They're a little stiff. I'm worried about plastic wear over time and wear of the weapons from inserting it in and outside the hand. I think they need to relook at the overall tolerance of the hands, or maybe just a little bit softer, not too much, because we don't want to lose the ability to firmly hold the weapon. But just a little tweak, I think, needs to be done still. But not bad, because of that finger, the trigger fingers are really a little trick to get them into the finger guards there. It kind of wears you, like you're going to get some plastic stress marks, but I haven't got one yet, knock on wood. Okay, for the next accessory it comes with a pistol. Pretty cool looking stub nose, not too bad. And let's try the holster real quick. And it's perfect. That's a perfect tolerance right there. Looks good. Fantastic. Nice and firm, it won't fall out, but not too tight. See how well he holds it. Pistols perfectly. No issues at all. It goes right into his hand. The hand receives the gun. Maybe because it might be stretched out from our first weapon, but it went in without a problem. Looks fantastic. It holds it really, really nicely. Love the articulation, so you can definitely get some nice poses with the pistol. Very cool. Okay, next up, he does have another assault rifle, which is really cool. It gives it a new, like a more of a modern touch with keeping the classic weapons. I'm all for adding new weapons, but making sure we stay true to the source material. Very nice assault rifle. You do also have another removable clip. Very cool. This one is not as tight as the other one, but it does snap in. Very, very nice. Okay, here's the assault rifle being held. He holds it really nicely. No problems, no issues. Okay, the next two accessories is two blades. They're just black. They have these little hoops in them, almost like you put a string through there. I like the sculpt of the handles. Blades looks really, really cool. And this is the next issue I have with tolerances. We want a nice snug fit. Obviously, you can put one here, but it is super tight. It's almost like you're smashing your plastic to shove that in there. I'm not going to go full all the way because I want to take a more in-depth look at it without bending my plastic in my blades. And the other one goes on his arm, and it is the same way. The tolerances are extremely too tight, but that fits pretty good nonetheless. They fit, and that does flop on a good bit unless you get in a good seat in towards the back of his forearm there. But you gotta kind of like stuff him in there, and I mean it's really difficult to get him out. So if you do that too much, I'm not sure what's going to give first, the plastic of the blade or your case. So the last accessory is his shield. If you have the Yellow Viper, you must have this iconic shield. We have the blue camo over the orange plastic and the Cobra insignia down here. Very, very traditional shield. Very nice. On the back here, we do have a nice LED screen with like maybe a targeting system. Then we have a way to hold his weapon, and this will spin. Very cool. This is the overall size of his shield versus the figure. It's pretty much from tip of his head to just below between his legs there. Nice. Well, the shield has two hoops. One's larger than the other one, so the larger one goes towards the back of the arm, and this would be the one you put the wrist through. This is a little bit challenging, so I have to do it off camera. Just be aware that it's a little of a pain. Okay, here is with his shield. Looks really cool. Obviously, if you're using a shield, you probably want to protect your face, so that's really nice. Very, very cool. It's not too heavy to shield. It does not like the figure want to fall over. Apparently, making it look like this because I just don't have him. I've been manipulating the figure a good bit, so I can get his legs back to where they need to be. But nonetheless, it looks really, really good. So there he is standing up once you get your figure in a stable position, basically. Now, I've seen a lot of different people talk about it, like how the shield rotates, but I can't believe no one actually knows this, but you could use that system to basically rotate your shield. So in a combat, you can use this as a weapon. You can hit it with the point. You can flip it all the way around if you want to stab from this side. That's what that's for. So you can utilize it as a melee weapon or a defensive weapon. So keep that in mind. And it's nice that you can see how you can flow that around the arm in any position that you want. And it's really, really cool option in my opinion. I like how that came out. This is an awesome figure. He runs about $22.99. Final thoughts. He's pretty cool. Not perfect. Gotta work on the tolerances. Other than that, he's fantastic. A little nitpick with the pads on his feet, but it doesn't bother me too much. Like I said, I've seen ridiculous prices on eBay. Don't worry about those prices. I know you might want them. Of course, if you have the money that you want to pay, triple for a figure, you can. But they're going to be playing full through 2022. So just be aware of that. That's all I'm trying to say. Highly recommend this figure. I think you guys are going to enjoy it if you pick it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the new classified Audi Viper. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be taking a look at Bat here very soon. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like this video and you like this figure. It helps us out a lot. I really appreciate it. Comment down below, share the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next review.